here I am with Phoebe, who very generously has decided to do this again because the last one that we did, I forgot to save properly and wiped it off. Thank you so much, Phoebe. Let's go through this very, very quickly. Noem dies secundissimo vento cursum tenuerant. At least you'll remember all of the answers now. Although you got all of them right first time, apart from one. We'll get to that and we'll see if you get it right now. So, for 9 days, was that time how long accusative or time when ablative? For 9 days, they...
Time how long accusative.
Absolutely right. Good. For 9 days, they held their course with a secundissimo, with a very favourable wind. What kind of word was secundissimo?
What's it? A superlative.
A superlative adjective. Absolutely right. Good. And now they had come into the sight of their fatherland. When Ulysses, having been done in with tiredness, confectus, what kind of word was confectus?
Perfect passive participle.
It was a perfect passive participle. Absolutely right. For he himself was steering. He recubuit, he lay down to take a rest, literally for a rest to be taken. Capiendam was what kind of word?
It's a gerundive.
Gerundive, because it's agreeing with quieta.
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it? Yeah, very well done. Good. He lay down to take some rest. And as we said last time, if you want to, you can change it from being passive into the active because it sounds better. Yeah. So he lay down to take some rest. But his allies, who now were wondering what was closed, what had been closed in that sack. Why did we say inclusum esset was in the subjunctive?
Because it's an indirect question.
It's an indirect question. Absolutely right. Cum. When they saw their leader overcome with sleep, what kind of word is oppressum? Having been overcome.
It's a perfect passive participle.
That's a perfect passive participle. Good. They judged arbitrandi sunt. You look at arbitrati sunt. That looks like it should be they have been judged, but we just translate it as they have judged. Why are we making it not passive but active? Deponent verb. Good. They judged that such an opportunity should not be missed. Omitendam is an example of.
It's a gerundive.
Gerundive, agreeing with occasionem. Very well done. Good. Well done, Phoebe. Good. They judged that such an opportunity should not be lost. For they thought that silver and gold were hidden there. Celata esse. Why is celata esse an accusative infinitive?
It's an indirect statement.
It's an indirect statement. Well done. And the thing that tells us that at the start is probably going to be the credebant because it's a verb of saying or thinking. Itaque. And so, having been led on by the hope of plunder, of wealth, they, without delay, sine mora, released the bag. Quo facto, with this thing having been done. What's that an example of? We didn't ask that last time. With this, with which thing having been done? Having done this.
Well, that's a perfect passive participle.
It is, but look at that ending O.
Yeah.
There's something
it's
specific.
It's ablative.
Yeah, so it's...
It's a absolute, ablative, absolute.
It is an ablative, absolute. Absolutely right, that's okay. The winds, with this thing having been done, the winds, and now we've got, this is the bit that we said was the Virgilian part, just as with an agmine facto, that's another ablative absolute actually, with a battle line having been drawn up, where data portat, so the porta rather, the street to which place gates haven't been given. When they've been given a gate, they rush through and they blast through perflant, the lands, turbine with a roar or something like that. Hic, here, such a storm suddenly arose, ut that, and as soon as we see the tanta, followed by the ut with the possent, subjunctive. Why is possent subjunctive?
It's a result clause.
It's a result clause, good. So such a storm arose that they were not able to hold their course, but they referentur, but that they, and this is still part of the result clause, hence the subjunctive, but they were carried back into the same eandem, into the same idem eadem. Lots of people forget that word, and we glossed over it actually last time. I don't remember focusing on it. Into the same part from where they had set out. Profecti erant, sort of almost reversing the form of the verb there. So they were taken back into the same part from where they had come. Ulysses, having been woken up from his dream, can you tell me, or from his sleep, excitatus, what kind of word excitatus was?
Perfect passive participle.
Perfect passive participle, good. Intellexit, understood in what state things were in immediately, and this is the bit that we asked about last time. Why was esset subjunctive?
It's an indirect question.
Excuse me, it is an indirect question, absolutely right, with the corbet. He understood in what state matters were. What state are matters in? Direct question. He understood in what state matters were in. Indirect question. Very good. He vidit, he saw the bag solutum, undone. Ithaca, relictam, having been left behind his back. What kind of word was relictam?
A perfect passive participle.
Perfect
again.
passive participle again. Lots of perfect passive participles here, aren't there? Tum vero. Then indeed, where are we? Sorry, he burned, exarcit, he burned with anger, violently, and he objogabat, and he cursed his crewmates because they proecisent. Now here we've actually got the subjunctive, and this is because, imagine it's him saying, because he believed, I suppose. Do you remember we said before, it's an alternative, it's a form of the thoughts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although, I'm looking at that thinking, it's him imagining that they have thrown away the hope of the fatherland, but I'm actually thinking also it's because of the quad,
Yeah.
it's sort of a causal clause.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he was cursing his allies because they had thrown away, adulti having spurred on by the greed of money for money, they had thrown away the hope of their fatherland. Videndi being seen. Videndi was an example of what?
A gerundive.
That was a gerundive, and that is the end of passage 93. Very well done, Phoebe. I'll save it correctly this time. Well.